and welcome to Kohana Studio Podcast. My name is Kate. I'm founder of Kohana Professional, nail champion, nail educator and nail tech with over 15 years of experience. And today with me is Amber.
Hello, my name is Amber. I'm the executive assistant here at Kohana and I'm also an educator for Kohana Professional. So today's episode we're talking all about building our nails. So building our structure and why we need the structure. To have like nice long lasting nails.
Yes. Why we build the structure? First of all, for strength, okay? So proper structure mean proper strength for the nails. Not every natural nail has the same shape. Yes, so we can have nails that are flat. We can have nails that are naturally ski jumps, so nails are growing up. We can have the natural nails growing down, like a claw nails, okay? So not every nail looks the same, but if we create the extension, for example, we will have to build the structure that will make nails strong and they last, so the customer doesn't have to come back every week to have a nails done.
Yeah. Do you see the trend at the minute online of the videos of all these nail techs trying to explain to the clients why they need the bump on their nail, clients don't like the bump?
Yeah. It's completely, I get it because I had a client like this also. So I remember when I was doing nails and the client was like, Kate, can you actually make these nails just flat? You know, I love the nails very flat. I don't like this bump. Yes. So it's kind of like, it's important to, of course, we have to kind of like balance the structure also, So it's not every time you have to create a big bump, yes?
And the bump is the apex.
Yes, so. Exactly. The bump, it has a professional name. The bump, it's named the apex. So apex is the kind of like the highest point in the extensions. Apex should be placed before your stress zone. So we go from one definition to another definition. So apex, as we said, the kind of like strength of your nail give you the highest point in where the product is applied and should be applied before the stress zone. Stress zone is the place where usually your extensions break. If the customer had accident, like a little bit trauma, something happened, usually they break in that point. So where they usually break? Where the natural nails finish and then free edges start, okay? So this extension is built. So that's your stress zone. So we should apply apex not in the stress zone because we have to think about that nails need grow now they will grow for another month time, okay? Every second of our life nails are growing. So that's why we have after a week and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we have the roots, okay? And the customer comes back for refills. So if you will apply from the beginning apex on the stress zone, the apex will move. The product is moving with the growth. So if the apex will move out of our fingers, so it go over the stress zone, the product will become very heavy because it doesn't have finger underneath, doesn't have anything to hold it. Here we don't have anything to hold that product, so it will start put too much pressure and then the nail can even fall off fully, break, or it's the best scenario, but in the worst it can fall off fully. So the apex as your highest point, the bump, what we talk, it should be applied first of all before the stress zone. To make this even easier for you, it should be applied in kind of like a natural stress zone. I usually explain to the students like this on the beginner courses. We have kind of stress zone in the extensions, but we also have a stress point on your natural nails. So before you apply the product, if you have natural nail and you press a little bit, you will see this kind of like a whitey light spot on the nails. This is kind of the stress point in the natural nail. So try to place the apex in that point. Always apex should be a little bit closer to the cuticle than actually to the end of the natural nail, Another way, if you still don't get it, kind of like where to apply apex, take your full nail extension, divide by 3 parts, and then put apex in the first third of the full length. So that's the part where apex should be placed.
And the apex doesn't necessarily need to be very high for it to be effective.
Yes,
exactly. So as long as the apex is in the right place, it'll do its job.
Yes, so here also we come back to the point where we say thickness doesn't mean strength.
Yes,
yes?
exactly.
So that's why the apex in different shapes also, it will look a little bit different, yes? So for example, in oval almond, it's different than square nail, yes? So that's the first thing, because also the shape is different. In square nail, because the square has also different tunnel, different sidelines, different side walls, it has the apex that is balanced all over all the length and all the shape. And then in oval, almond, coffin, stiletto shapes, yes, the apex is placed and it's kind of like a focus in the one point with even kind of nice structured back to the end of extension, yeah?
So when it comes to structure, can you tell us what a C-curve is?
Yes, a C-curve, that is kind of like was controversial on the beginning, you know. It's kind of like on the beginning, C-curve was when you look on the nail from the side. Then I start competing, and then I seen the C-curve in the how you say, the score sheets. Yes, so it's kind of like they ask for something different, and in the end, okay. So what the C-curve is? C-curve, we could say about a structure on the nail, okay? So if you look on the nail from side, if you look on the nail from this point of view, from the front, okay, you will see nails are curvy, okay? So it doesn't matter what shape. Is it oval, is it almond, or is it square? If you would kind of like take the shape and start looking from this point, you will see they are curvy. They have natural curve underneath, and they are curvy on the top when they shape correctly, okay? So this is your C-curve. So C-curve is actually a definition taken from the maths, concave and convex, okay? So on the top, if you look on the nail from the top, you will have convex, and then underneath your curve, what we usually in the nail world we call tunnel, it's your concave. I remember in the beginning, I didn't know how to remember which one is convex, which one is concave, because obviously I did my maths in Poland, okay, so it was called a little bit different. So concave, convex, and I remember one student told me, you remember, so for me, I can remember, she said to me, remember that you have to get into the cave. The cave, so it's kind of like you go into the cave. So now I remember underneath it's a concave, so convex.
That's how I remember it as well, actually.
Yeah. So that's how you can also remember. So when I looked on, for example, on the score sheets, what the C-curve is, they will ask you about convex, so they will ask you about the apex in the short way, and concave, it's your tunnel. Okay, so that's what the C-curve is. So then they take the letter C from concave, C from convex, and they call it, and the nail structure is curvy, C-curve.
And the next thing I want to ask you about, just a short and sweet definition, what is a sidewall?
The sidewall. So we have a side walls, and then we have a side lines. Okay, so to talk about this, the side wall is on the surface, side lines are on the shape. So if you will talk about filing the side lines, or they have to be parallel to the line of the finger, this talks about the sides that are follow on the free edge, okay? So side line here, and then here we have like a hairline in the end of the free edge. And then side walls are, if we start filing the nail on the surface, you will have a side wall on one side and a side wall on the other side. So this is the difference.
Lovely.
Another, because I mentioned the hairline. So what is the hairline? The hairline we usually called a space on the nail, for example, at the end of the free edge, and then close here in the cuticle zone, okay? So what's that mean? It's mean that it's just casually called like hairline, because we need to kind of like imagine that the nails on the beginning and at the end, they should be thin like our hair. Not like seriously like our hair, but like it's just say like hairline. So that's give you kind of like pay attention, that you will nicely filed off. But how thick the nail should be at the free edge, we usually compare this to the credit card. Okay, so this is kind of like the thickness, like a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, where how the like inside 2 millimeters and then at the end around 1 millimeter thickness.
And I know that sounds really, really thin, but your structure is holding
This
all
is
the
all
strength.
about the structure. It's all about the structure. 1 millimeter at the end or even less is completely enough. If you build your apex concave and convex correctly, the nails can be really, really thin. Another thing in the structure, like I always, when I start teaching the structure of the extensions, I usually say about the points A and B. A and B, it's kind of like your cuticle zone when the product is firstly applied, and then the B, it's like the end of the extension. So it's the actual length what you need to decide it on the beginning with the clients, because there were everything's kind of like, this is your point of view, how we apply tip or how we apply the forms. And like I said, we have different, or like I said on the beginning, you have different natural nails. Yeah, so we have nails growing up, we have nails growing down, we have nails that are normal. So our also tip or form application should be different. It should be then kind of like adjust to the natural growth of the nail. But in the easiest way to explain, we always should focus to try balance these 2 points, A and B, when you look on the nail from the side. So A and B always should be kind of on the same level. Of course, if the nail is problematic, the B can a little bit different, can go slightly higher or slightly lower, but we talk about slightly. Okay? Not every nail can be a long extension. For example, if somebody will have really, really ski jump nail, okay, and if you do very long extension, the nail or will be very thick or will look ridiculously going up. Okay, so that's but you cannot create very, very long nail, ski jump, that will last in the structure the nail should look like. So unfortunately, we need to kind of consider that before clients will tell us what they want. Okay, in the end of the day, we need to know the proper structure and explaining what match best for the natural nails.
And it's really important to encourage your clients to come back for regular refills.
Exactly.
Because even if your nails last 6-8 weeks, amazing, but the balance is off. And they can injure themselves.
And becomes dangerous, exactly. They can become like dangerous, they can lose the nail in the end because they don't have nothing to hold product perfectly.
Exactly. So it's amazing that your work lasts that long, but it's not ideal. You need to get them back.
Not ideal, exactly. Yeah. So remember, yes, the structure, we have points A and B, A cuticles, B the end of extension, we have apex the bump, we have stress zone, the part what is usually break, then we have sidelines follow the shape, and the sidewalls are on the surface on the sides of the apex, and then the C-curve. C-curve is a curvy structure of the nail, convex on the top and concave underneath, described as a tunnel sometimes. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to follow us. Today, I wish you a lovely day and chat you soon.